We have mapped the surface of Mars in higher detail than the bottom of our own oceans. More than 80% of the deep sea has never been seen by human eyes. What we have seen is enough to keep marine biologists awake at night. The Mariana Trench is so deep that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the peak would still be over a mile underwater. The pressure at the bottom is over 1,000 times what we feel on the surface. It would crush a tank instantly. In the deepest waters, fish do not have color. There is no sunlight to see, so evolution stripped it away. Most are transparent or jet black. Some have skin that absorbs light so completely that they appear as silhouettes against absolute darkness. The giant squid was considered a sailor's myth for centuries. Then in 2004, scientists captured the first photograph of one alive. They can reach over 40 feet in length, have eyes the size of dinner plates, and almost nothing is known about how they live. There is a creature in the deep ocean called the blobfish. On the surface, it looks like a melted face, but that is only because the pressure change kills it. In its natural environment a mile down, it is a perfectly normal-looking fish. In 1997, hydrophones across the Pacific picked up the loudest underwater sound ever recorded. It was louder than any known animal, including blue whales. They named it the bloop. Its source has never been identified to this day. The vampire squid lives in zero-oxygen waters where almost nothing else can survive. When threatened, it turns itself inside out, revealing rows of spiked tentacles. It also produces a glowing mucus that erupts in clouds to confuse predators. Tube worms living near deep-sea volcanic vents can survive temperatures that would boil flesh and acidity strong enough to dissolve metal. They grow up to 8 feet tall, have no mouths, and live entirely on energy from chemicals seeping out of the earth. Sharks have been swimming in our oceans for over 450 million years. That is older than trees, older than Saturn's rings. They have survived 5 mass extinctions, including the one that killed the dinosaurs. We are barely a blink in their history. The Pacific Ocean contains a graveyard. Scattered across thousands of square miles of seafloor are the remains of whales, ships, and aircraft, slowly being consumed by deep-sea organisms. Whale falls alone can sustain entire ecosystems for over 50 years. There are over 3 million shipwrecks resting on the ocean floor. Most have never been explored. Many contain treasure, some contain bodies, and some contain cargo so old it predates written history. Maritime archaeologists call it the largest museum on Earth. The black devil anglerfish lures prey using a glowing growth that dangles in front of its enormous teeth. The males are tiny by comparison. They literally fuse to the female's body, eventually dissolving into nothing but a sperm-producing organ. Tsunamis in the open ocean can be only a foot or two high, but travel at the speed of a jet airliner. By the time they reach shallow water, they slow down and pile up into walls of water hundreds of feet tall. There is almost no warning. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is now larger than the state of Texas. It is not a floating island like people think. It is a soup of microplastics, fishing nets, and chemical sludge spread across millions of square miles of open ocean. Blue holes are massive vertical caves that descend hundreds of feet into the seabed. Some lead to underwater rivers. Some contain perfectly preserved bodies of ancient sailors. They are deadly to dive into. Many who have tried have never come back. The deepest dive ever attempted was by James Cameron in 2012. He spent 2.5 hours alone at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, almost 7 miles down. He described it as one of the most alien environments imaginable, completely silent and dark. Octopuses are not just smart, they are genuinely alien. They have 9 brains, 3 hearts, blue blood, and can solve puzzles that stump dogs. Some scientists believe they may be the closest thing on Earth to extraterrestrial intelligence. There are entire underwater rivers that flow along the ocean floor, complete with banks, waterfalls, and trees lining their edges. The Black Sea has the largest one ever discovered. If it were on land, it would be the 6th largest river in the world. Roughly 95% of the ocean remains unexplored. New species are still being discovered every year. Some of them have body plans so strange that biologists have had to invent new categories of life to classify them. The deep is still genuinely unknown. Whale songs travel for thousands of miles through deep water. We can hear them on hydrophones from across entire oceans. Some songs change year by year, as if entire populations are slowly developing new dialects. We barely understand what any of it means. The bottom of the Pacific contains a region called Point Nemo. It is the point in the ocean farthest from any land. The closest humans to anyone there are usually the astronauts on the International Space Station, 250 miles overhead. In 2018, the body of a colossal squid washed ashore in Antarctica. It weighed nearly 1,100 pounds, its beak was the size of a melon, and its hooked tentacles bore battle scars from fights with sperm whales. The species was unknown until the 20th century. Underwater volcanoes erupt nearly constantly. Most of them we never know about. They build entire islands from scratch. They create new species. They release more lava than all the volcanoes on land combined, every single year, in total silence. The deep ocean is the largest habitat on Earth. It contains more living organisms than every forest, jungle, and grassland combined. And we know almost nothing about any of them. Every dive into the abyss brings back something nobody has ever seen before. Comment which of these terrified you the most. The ocean is not just full of life, it is full of secrets, and every year we discover that what is down there is stranger than what we imagined. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes